Some people have been denied boarding just because of what they wore. Not because of anything in their bag, not because of their ticket, just their outfit. And it happens more than you'd think. What you wear to the airport affects how fast you move through security, whether you get pulled for additional screening, and in some cases, whether you actually get on that plane at all. These are the mistakes that keep catching travelers off guard. Pay attention, because some of these are a lot more common than you'd expect. Mistake number 1. Showing up in a jacket or hoodie with nothing underneath. TSA will ask you to remove your outer layer before the body scanner. That's not a suggestion, that's the rule. And if there's nothing under that hoodie, you're about to have a very public, very uncomfortable conversation. You're already running a little late. The line is long, you finally reach the front. The officer tells you the jacket has to come off. You can't comply. The people behind you start shifting. The agent isn't flexible. There's no creative workaround. You're either getting pulled for a full secondary screening, wand, pat down, the whole process, or you're standing there creating a delay that everyone in that line is going to remember. And here's the thing, it's not just embarrassing in the moment. Secondary screening adds real time. If your gate is on the other end of a large terminal, that delay can cost you your flight. All because of one missing layer. The fix takes 30 seconds before you leave the house. Wear a real base layer, something you'd feel completely fine standing in at a crowded checkpoint on its own. A fitted crew neck, a solid t-shirt, anything substantial. That one decision eliminates the entire problem before it starts. Mistake number 2, wearing the wrong base layer. You remembered to wear something underneath. That's good. But if it's a thin undershirt or a flimsy tank top, you still have a problem. At the scanner, your arms go over your head. You're bending down to grab bins off the belt. You're moving around in an open space with strangers on every side. If your base layer isn't something you'd be comfortable being seen in, that discomfort plays out in public with no way to fix it. No bathroom break, no adjusting, you're just exposed in a crowded checkpoint and you have to keep moving. A fitted crew neck or high neck t-shirt is the standard. Treat your base layer as your actual airport outfit. Everything on top is just warmth, because at some point, that top layer is coming off. Mistake number 3, wearing clothing with political messages, profanity, or provocative imagery. This is where a lot of travelers get a false sense of security. They make it through TSA just fine, and then they get stopped at the gate. Here's what most people don't know. TSA and the airline are two completely separate checkpoints. Making it through security does not mean you're getting on that plane. Airlines, including United, Delta, and Spirit, have their own dress code enforcement policies. Gate agents have the legal authority to deny boarding, and they exercise it regularly. Passengers have been turned away for shorts deemed too short, for crop tops, for outfits considered too sheer, for clothing with messages that made staff or other passengers uncomfortable. And the rule is deliberately subjective, which means the gate agent has full discretion and there is no appeal process standing at a boarding gate. You can argue your case all you want. The door to the jet bridge will close anyway. This has become more of an issue in recent years as the political climate has gotten more charged. Something that might have been overlooked a few years ago gets a second look today. Keep your airport outfit clean, neutral, and completely free of anything that could be interpreted as inappropriate. It is genuinely not worth the risk. Mistake number 4, overdoing the cologne or perfume. This one surprises people because it doesn't feel like a dress code issue. But under airline policy, it falls into the exact same category. Airlines can and do deny boarding to passengers whose scent is considered a disruption to other passengers or crew. That includes heavy cologne or perfume. It includes cigarette smoke that's soaked into your clothing. It can even include general body odor when it's strong enough to be noticeable across a few rows. The gate agent makes that call at the moment of boarding. No checklist, no measurement, no objective standard. Their judgment is final. A light application is never going to be a problem. But spraying down heavily before a long international flight, especially a packed one, is a gamble you're taking with your seat. Leave the heavy fragrance for when you land. The next mistake is one that almost everyone gets wrong, and it's costing people more than just time at the checkpoint. Mistake number 5, wearing a hidden money belt through the scanner without removing it. Money belts became popular for good reason. They keep your valuables close, concealed, and harder for pickpockets to access. That logic works perfectly everywhere except the security checkpoint. Here's what happens when you forget to remove it before the scanner. The alarm goes off. You get pulled aside. The agent runs the wand over your body. You have to remove it right there. And now everyone standing in that line, including people you've never seen before and will never see again, hopefully, knows exactly what you're carrying and where you're keeping it. And if you do remember to take it off, you place it in a gray plastic bin on a public conveyor belt. Your cash, your passport, your credit cards, all of it sitting in open view while you're distracted going through the scanner. You can't watch the bin and go through the screening at the same time. And while theft at TSA checkpoints is rare, it does happen. Agents have been caught stealing from passenger bins. That's not a scare tactic. That's documented. The smarter system is a jacket with interior zippered pockets. Everything stays inside the jacket. At the scanner, you remove the jacket as one unit and place it in the tray. Your valuables go through the X-ray machine together, concealed and secure. You grab the jacket on the other side. Everything is still exactly where you left it. No exposure, no delay, no risk. Mistake number 6. Assuming the shoes stay on rule applies everywhere. In late 2025, the DHS announced that passengers could keep their shoes on at TSA checkpoints. A lot of travelers heard that and stopped thinking about their footwear entirely. Showed up in tall riding boots, platform shoes, heavy hardware, fully expecting to walk straight through without stopping. Here's what the announcement didn't make clear. The rule only applies where the upgraded scanning equipment is installed and is working correctly at the time you're going through. Not every airport has it. Not every lane at airports that do have it is operational on any given day. The policy is genuinely inconsistent across the country, and there's no way to know in advance which situation you're walking into. Boots are the real problem here. Tall riding boots, boots with thick soles, boots with heavy metal hardware, these trigger alarms even with the newer equipment. It's slow, it's awkward, and it was entirely preventable. Low-profile shoes, sneakers, loafers, anything without heavy construction, are the practical choice every time. And regardless of what shoes you wear, always wear socks. Airport floors carry bacteria and fungal spores you genuinely don't want contact with. Major carriers, including American and United, have also explicitly banned going barefoot on flights for health and safety reasons. Socks from the moment you enter the terminal to the moment you land. Mistake number 7. Wearing wide-leg pants or long, flowy skirts. Airport security checkpoints have conveyor belts, escalators, tight spaces with moving equipment that doesn't care what you're wearing. Wide-leg pants and long skirts are officially categorized as safety hazards in airport environments because excess fabric catches on conveyor belt edges and escalator teeth. That's not a theoretical risk. It happens, and when it does, it happens fast. Beyond the safety issue, long skirts that brush the floor in airport bathrooms or airplane bathrooms are making contact with floors that are not clean by any stretch. Tapered pants, joggers, chinos with a clean break at the ankle are the better choice. No hazards, no hygiene problems, and they hold up comfortably through a full travel day. Mistake number 8. Traveling in a one-piece outfit. Rompers, jumpsuits, full-body onesies. These get worn to airports regularly, and the people wearing them almost always regret it by hour 3 of the flight. The outfit itself isn't the problem. The airplane bathroom is the problem. It's the size of a phone booth. The floor is wet. There's nowhere to hang or set anything down. And to use that bathroom while wearing a one-piece, you essentially have to get undressed, sometimes more than once over the course of a long flight. On a short domestic route, it's an inconvenience. On a 6-hour or 10-hour flight, it becomes genuinely exhausting. Pack the one piece. Wear it when you get to your destination. Mistake number 9. Wearing clothing with metallic embellishments. Sequins, metallic threading, large decorative buttons, beaded detailing. This kind of clothing is especially common around the holiday travel season, and it is reliably going to set off the body scanner, every time. It doesn't matter that you know exactly why the alarm went off. The process still has to play out. Wand, pat down, wait for an agent to be available. If you're already running close on time, 5 extra minutes in secondary screening is the margin between making your flight and watching it push back from the gate without you. If you're traveling in festive or heavily embellished clothing, build the extra time into your airport arrival, because the scanner is not going to give you a pass on it. Mistake number 10, wearing heavy jewelry and bulky accessories. Large belt buckles, chunky necklaces, oversized statement rings, metal hair clips. All of it has to come off before the scanner, all of it goes into a bin, and all of it is now sitting in open view on a public conveyor belt while you're focused on getting through screening. The straightforward solution is to pack these items in your carry-on before you leave home and put them on after you've cleared security. Simple pieces are almost always fine. A wedding band, small stud earrings, a thin bracelet rarely cause any issues. Anything heavy, decorative, or chunky belongs in your bag. It takes 2 minutes to pack them and saves you time, stress, and the exposure of having your valuables on display. Here's the bottom line. Every single one of these mistakes is completely avoidable. None of it requires buying a new wardrobe. It just requires thinking about your outfit the same way you think about the rest of your travel day, with a little bit of planning before you walk out the door. The travelers who move through airports the fastest aren't always the most experienced. They're the ones who stopped making the small, preventable mistakes that everyone else is still making. Dress practically, dress simply, and know exactly what you're wearing before you leave. Because once you're standing in that TSA line, there's nothing left to change. If any of this has ever happened to you at the airport, or if you've watched it happen to someone else in line, drop it in the comments below. If this video saved you from an awkward situation on your next trip, hit that like button. It's the easiest way to help other travelers find this. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because every week we're bringing you the travel tips that actually make a difference. We'll see you in the next one.